In January 2026, a company called Rich Sparkle Holdings paid $975 million to acquire the business empire of a man named Khaby Lame. You know him as Khaby Lame, the guy who never says a word on camera, the guy who just looks at you, spreads his hands, and makes you feel like the most confused person on the planet. $975 million for a holding company built by a man who, just 5 years before that deal, had 2 followers on TikTok, his dad and his neighbor. He was 20 years old, unemployed, living in public housing in a small town in northern Italy, with no savings, no platform, and no plan. That is the story we are breaking down today. Not just how he went from 2 followers to 162 million. Not just how he went from a factory floor to Hollywood films, a Fortnite skin, and a talent agency, but the 6 specific wealth moves he made that turned a TikTok account into a nearly billion-dollar empire. And exactly how you can use those same moves to start building yours. This is not a story about getting lucky on the internet. This is a masterclass in how wealth is actually built. And by the end of this video, you are going to see it completely differently. But first, let me show you where Khaby started, because that part of the story is just as important as the $975 million ending. Right now, most people are doing exactly what Khaby was told to do when he lost his job. Trade your time for someone else's paycheck. Clock in, work hard, clock out. Repeat until retirement, Monday to Friday. Alarm, commute, bills, and at the end of the month, right back where you started. Not because you are not working hard enough, but because working hard inside a system that was never designed to make you wealthy will never make you wealthy. Khaby had every reason to follow that script. His father told him, go find another job. And that would have been the logical, safe, completely understandable thing to do. He picked up his phone instead. And what happened next? That is where the first wealth move begins. Wealth move 1. Stop selling your time. Start building something you own. Let's go back to March 2020. The world had just shut down. COVID lockdowns were happening everywhere. Businesses were closing. People were losing jobs by the millions. And in the small town of Chivasso, just north of Turin, Italy, a 20-year-old named Khaby Lame got the call that he was no longer needed at the factory. He worked as a CNC machine operator, programming industrial machines to cut and shape metal parts. Not glamorous, but real work. It paid his bills. It was his contribution to a family that had emigrated from Senegal to Italy when Khaby was just 1 year old and built their life in public housing. When the layoff came, his father gave him the advice that every practical, loving parent gives their child in that moment. Go, find another job. Logical, safe. Exactly what the world tells you to do when something is taken from you. Go replace it. Go find another way to trade your time for someone else's money. Khaby did not do that. He picked up his phone, opened TikTok, and started recording. March 2020, Khaby Lame creates his TikTok account and starts posting videos. And for the first month, nothing happened. 2 followers, his dad, and his neighbor. 9 views per video, on average. He was posting into a void, no algorithm boost, no viral moment, no signal that any of this was working. Most people would have stopped right there. They would have said, I tried, it did not work. Back to the job boards. And that would have been the completely reasonable thing to do. Khaby kept posting, not because he had a 10-year content strategy. He kept posting because he was bored, he had time, and he genuinely enjoyed making people laugh. No secret formula, just consistency in the absence of results. Then one day, he found a video of someone peeling a banana with a complicated multi-step method, involving a knife, a spoon, and what appeared to be an engineering degree. Khaby filmed himself watching it. Then he simply peeled the banana with his hands, the way every human being on Earth has peeled a banana since the beginning of time. He looked directly into the camera, spread his hands, said nothing, and posted it. That video exploded. Millions of views, shares across every platform, comments in dozens of languages from people laughing at the same joke simultaneously. He had found the format. One simple, repeatable idea. Find an overcomplicated life hack. Show the simple solution. Say nothing. Let the expression do the work. He had accidentally built a content engine, and he was about to fuel it at scale. Wealth move 2. Consistency in obscurity is what builds unstoppable momentum. Here is what made Khaby Lame different from every other comedian, every other reaction creator, every other person doing exactly what he was doing on TikTok. He never spoke. Not because he was shy, not because his Italian accent would have held him back. He chose silence. Silence meant one thing that no other creator on the planet could offer. No, language barrier. When a creator speaks, they automatically limit their audience. English-speaking creator, primarily English-speaking audience. Spanish-speaking creator, primarily Spanish-speaking audience. You might get subtitles, you might get a translation, but the joke does not land the same way. Khaby's videos needed no translation. A person in Brazil, Japan, Germany, South Korea, and the United States all watched the same video and laughed at the exact same moment. His facial expressions were the language, his hand gestures were the punchline, and humor, real humor, is universal. By April 2021, just over a year after starting, Khaby surpassed Gianluca Vacchi to become the most followed Italian on TikTok. Then, he passed Addison Rae to become number 2 on the entire platform. And in June 2022, he overtook Charli D'Amelio to claim the number 1 spot, with 142 million followers. Wealth move 3, remove every barrier between you and your audience. Once you become the most followed person on the most watched platform in the world, the money comes looking for you. The difference between someone who cashes every check and someone who builds an empire is what you do when it arrives. The brand deals came first. Hugo Boss, Binance, Epic Games, Pepsi, Amazon, luxury brands, tech companies, gaming giants. Khaby's estimated rate for a single sponsored post reached $750,000 per video. For a video that takes minutes to film, requires no speaking, no script, and no studio. In 2022, his annual earnings hit $10 million. In 2023, that number jumped to $17 million. Wealth move 4, build multiple income streams, so no single one can cut you off. Let's walk through exactly what Khaby built beyond TikTok. Film and television, a voice cameo in Black Panther, a role alongside Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in Bad Boys, Ride or Die, his own show Khaby is coming to America on Tubi, juror at the Cannes Film Festival, juror on Italia's Got Talent, Forbes 30 Under 30, Fortune 40 Under 40, and in July 2025, Time Magazine's inaugural list of the 100 most influential digital creators in the world. But the most overlooked piece of the empire was what he built behind the scenes. He co-founded a talent agency that manages 235 other content creators, with 28 managers on staff. He stopped being just the talent and became the infrastructure that other talent runs through. He was no longer just creating content. He was earning from other people's content too. That is leverage. That is how you scale beyond your own 2 hands. Wealth move 5, stop being just the talent, become the infrastructure. In the business, in the infrastructure, in the brand partnerships, the talent agency, the intellectual property, the entertainment deals, the licensing rights, the equity, all of it sitting inside a holding company that someone else valued at nearly $1 billion and decided they needed to own. That is the lesson. That is the entire lesson. Khaby did not just earn money, he built something. A company with real assets, real revenue streams, real infrastructure, and then he let someone else pay him for it. Because builders get acquired. Workers get replaced. Wealth move 6, turn yourself into an asset. You started this video knowing this was about Khaby Lame's empire. And maybe somewhere in the back of your mind, you are thinking that is an incredible story. But that is him, not me. But Khaby Lame was a 20-year-old immigrant kid in public housing in a small Italian town. With no followers, no money, and no backup plan. The odds were stacked against him as much as they are against anyone. And here is what he did. He stopped selling his time and started building something he owned. He showed up consistently before there was any evidence it was working. He removed every barrier between himself and his audience. He built multiple income streams instead of depending on one. He stopped being just the talent and became the infrastructure. And he turned his personal brand into a company that someone else paid $975 million to acquire. 6 moves, 5 years, nearly $1 billion. If you want more breakdowns of how real people are building real wealth, not theory, not motivation, but actual moves and actual numbers, hit that subscribe button. Which of these 6 wealth moves are you starting with this week?